want to talk about AI for a second. And I promise this isn't going to be a video that's going to tell you that you should use it or that you're behind if you don't use it. Because you are not behind if you either haven't gotten into it yet or aren't going to use it. I don't care what other people are saying. I know there's a lot of buzz about AI right now, small business owners, and it can be a lot to take in. So today I just want to share a bit about how I use it in my own business and also to clear some things up that I think makes a really big difference when it comes to AI and automations because they are not the same thing. So let's start there. Artificial intelligence, AI, is not automations. I see people when they hear an automation, they just assume AI, and that is not the case. And also, AI has a lot of different levels to it. Not all AI is the same, and some might even say what we call AI isn't even AI. So that's a whole nother thing for more techie people to have conversations about. That's not us here today. AI is there to interpret and predict information. It's making judgment calls, whereas automation is very logical. It depends on the inputs that you give it and what you're asking it to do. It's like when this happens, then do that. There's no interpretation. There are no judgment calls to be made. So when somebody fills out a contact form on your website and they get a email that is generated automatically, that's not AI, that's just an automatic templated email that goes out. But if you were to say use some kind of a automation that triggers when somebody fills out a contact form, and then you actually do use AI to interpret that form and then generate a custom email back to that person automatically, AI is used in that automation. So although they are different, they can be used together, and it gets a little confusing. And then you have AI just in a chat, or you're asking it to do a very specific thing, and then you have agents, AI agents, who have a little bit of autonomy to choose either when to do things or what to do. And you can even have agents deploying agents. I haven't gotten into that. I don't care to get into that. I don't care to have an agentic team around me. I don't trust it. I don't trust them to do the job. Okay, but that's a side thing. I have a lot of strong opinions about AI. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to use it in my business, but I love automations. I don't have enough words for how much I love automations. I have a client onboarding Zap that I use. It's a freebie. I'll link it below. It's what I use. So when somebody books with me in Dubsado and they become a booked client project, then my automation creates a label for them in Gmail, creates a project for them in Toggle. It creates a space on my Chrome in Workana. It creates a folder in my Google Drive and then creates a subfolder that I then share with the client. So I have some shared content, some not shared information. And it goes on and on. It creates contacts in Google Contacts. It does all of these things as soon as somebody books. None of that is AI. None of that is this predictive knowledge thing. It is all, when this happens, do this formulaic task that I want you to do. I love it. I love automations so much. So much. And I use them in multiple places in my business, but that's really not what today is about. So let me talk about how I use AI in my business. So I use Claude mostly. I currently have a ChatGPT subscription, and I have it because there are a couple of custom GBTs I've shared with some of my products that I have to figure out how to get those on a different platform because I don't use ChatGPT other than those, and maybe it's worth it to keep having those, but I don't know. I use Claude in my business. I use Claude Projects to have really siloed conversations that have a lot of context to them so that my Claude bot can really help me think. And that is Claude's whole thing. It's like, we help you think. So I come to it when I planned out, today is a content recording day. I'm recording several videos today, and I had all my video ideas. So I talked to my Claude YouTube and said, all right, this is the video ideas that I want to do. This is the point. This is what I want to drive home. I need help crafting a intro that goes along with the thumbnail and title of my YouTube video, and it'll give me a bunch of options. Sometimes I use what it gives me. Sometimes I just use it as ideas to pick something myself. And then I ask it to just bullet point then what I'm going to talk about. I do not have it write a script. I do not like talking like AI. You might actually appreciate if I did talk more like AI instead of my rambly self, but I don't like to. So what my AI tool then does in Claude, I have it connected to Notion. So it goes in, it actually finds my Notion item and puts my notes about my outline, title ideas, everything, and it drops it in my Notion dashboard. So even though I'm not in Notion using their agent AI things, you could use theirs. I've tried it. I don't love it. That's probably another conversation. So that's one way I use Claude for content creation. I will also use it for my inbox management. So I don't have it draft replies. I don't have it do any literal cleanouts. But what I have my Claude do, and this is a Claude co-work that's scheduled to run every day, 4 times a day. And it goes into my inbox. It sees any recent emails. It determines if it is a task or not, if it needs my attention. If it does, then it interprets that into a 6-letter to-do and puts it in my Sensama for me to actually check off and do. And then it flags it in my inbox so I know it's sitting for me in my to-do list. And that has been huge to help me maintain control over my inbox of what's an action item, what isn't. And then I don't have it do anything else. I don't have it flag anything else. It doesn't archive anything. It literally just puts it in my Sensama if it needs my attention. And that way I can work out of my Sensama tasks instead of out of my inbox. And I just find that really helpful. I'm still new to that process, but I really like it. And before I was using some wild workaround where I would flag it in Gmail and then Zapier would pick it up and I'd have an agent do something, interpret it into a task, and then it would send it to Sensama. But now just inside of Claude, because Sensama has a MCP, I don't even know what that stands for, some kind of protocol that connects to Claude, and my Gmail connects to Claude. I don't have to have a Zap to connect these other things together because Claude's already connecting them together, and it has been lovely. I also use Claude to help me do some other very admin-y tasky things. So when it comes to getting all of the dashboards that I need to create for clients into Notion, there's hundreds and hundreds of pages that I put together. I actually work with a Claude co-work session that has all this project knowledge of how it can help me actually put these things into Notion. And that has saved me so much time. It's still all my brain. It's my ideas. I'm telling it exactly what to do, how I need it to go in, but it's saving me time from actually having to go in and type all of these different things out. And I go through that and review it all, make sure it's all correct. And it's just been a game changer when it comes to project work. And that's also a reason why I think you should have formulated project work with clients, because if you can systematize and maybe use an AI admin tasky thing to do certain things, then you can rely on that. But it's really nice to have a system, because when you have a system, you can create context around it and really give your AI bot thing a chance to support you really well. I want you to notice with all these ways I shared that I use my AI tools, I'm not asking it for ideas. I know I am on like give me ideas for like YouTube titles and things, but the main crux of the idea I'm trying to get across is mine. I don't go to my Claude and say, what should I post this week? I'm coming up with those ideas of how I'm going to show up and market my business. And I'm not against other people that do. And maybe if I'm stuck and struggling, I might come to it to get my brain spinning. But most likely, I'm not using what it tells me. It just then sparks an idea for myself to carry. The decisions on how to use things are all mine. It's why I do not do AI auto replies, even if they're drafted for approval. I do not want that whatever that artificial thinking is to be thinking on my behalf. I'd rather come off with a shorter email, something quick, but it's me and it's my words. I'm not looking to completely outsource client relations. I'm not looking to give it so many things. I want the autonomy for relationships to stay on me. I am not giving that to an AI bot. And I've helped some clients do it, and I think it's okay, especially with a lean team, but you have to give the AI bot so much context to support it to know how to answer, because they can go rogue really quickly if you haven't given it all of the tutorials that it needs to do exactly what you want it to do. You have to be so specific with them because it's just making judgment calls, predicting, generating responses based on what you've given it. So the more context you can give it, especially in projects within Claude. I also don't have memory turned on in Claude. I don't want to have one chat going and then it remembers that from something completely different. I don't want it remembering things unless it's completely within a project. So AI handles a lot of the tedious part for me so that I can handle the thinking part, the dreaming part, the strategy part, especially when it comes to actually putting things into Notion for me. I really rely on Claude to do that, to just formulate things and plug it in because it's just data at that point. It's smart enough to find what I need. It knows the context of where I need it to put the data, but I'm telling it what to put in and where to put it. So do you need to use AI in your business? No, full stop. You don't have to. I don't care what the bros are saying. I don't care what the big people are saying. It might help you if you want it to, but there's nothing wrong with doing it all yourself. And I haven't found that my AI have replaced the need for a virtual assistant because a lot of the time my AI things, they get 80% there, but the last 20% is not right. You still have to go over it and correct it. So if you never work with it in the first place, you're totally fine. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. There are certain things it does. Yes, it's great. You can have fun with it if you want. I vibe coded a couple resources that help me in my business that I use that are just for me. And maybe one day I'll sell them or provide them to others. But it's something that I enjoy playing around with. I do not like when softwares that I use force AI on me. I'm not looking to have to use AI if I don't want to use it. I turned off my AI features inside of Gmail. I don't need you trying to do things for me that I'm not looking to do. I also don't find the need to use AI for sloppy stuff. I don't use it to generate random images just throw out there because I know every time we are using these computer processors, it's using energy, it's using data that has to get stored. These data centers have to get built in order to support all this AI usage. So I do want to use some of it. I'm just not going to use a ton of it, and I'm not going to run my whole business off of AI because I just don't think it's representative of me. So if using AI doesn't feel right for your business, your values, what you stand for, I fully support that and do not think you need to use it. If you're curious about it and you want to try it out, I highly suggest going to Claude and using projects and giving it some context. I have one for social media, for YouTube, for newsletters, for some Webzado work. I have very specific projects that it has a lot of knowledge around these different things to help me ideate and dream into. Now, again, the dreaming is mine. Sometimes I just need to be spurred on. I just need a thinking partner. And I don't have any coworkers to do that for me. So I do like that AI can get me going. I do not take anything it says for 100% fact. So please, if you tell me Claude told me to do XYZ, I'm like, okay, did you think about it though? Did you then critique what it told you? Because it is not fact, it's not truth. It is just riffing off of what you already gave it. And most likely it's going to be affirmative to your viewpoint unless you train it not to be. Anyways, lots of thoughts. So if you're curious and you don't know where to start small. One thing, one repetitive thing that you have to do that you need help either coming up with ideas for, being an idea partner, or that you know you can have it actually do something for you. And so you can connect these other apps to Claude and it can go in and actually do things. My video editor of choice is Descript, and they came out with an MCP. I got really excited for it, but Claude could not figure out how to actually upload videos to it. So I'm like, if you can't upload the videos, that's one of the most tedious parts of it is uploading the videos. If you can't do that, like, why am I even trying to use you? I would say the goal is never to completely hand your business over to a tool. And that's what AI is. AI and automations are just tools. The goal of using them is to get time back for the work that only you can do. That's what we're working on. Or to get time back for the life you want to live. This is the point of using all of these tools. Automations over AIs. Automations are a lower stake and they're a great starting point if you're just trying to get into the tech side of how things can work. If AI just feels like way too much. If I'm saying the word MCP and like your brain's like, Lauren, I can't even go there. Setting up a Zapier flow might be more up your alley, or even a Dubsado automation when you're working with clients inside of the CRM. That might be more what you want to start with, because those just follow the rules that you set. But you have to know what you want it to do. For automation or an AI, like, you have to know how you want the tool to operate. You have to know that. So if this got you thinking about how you want your business to really run, whether it's automations or workflows or just getting things organized inside of your business, I would love to chat. I've got a link to a free clarity call down below in the description. And I'd also love to know if you are using AI, automations, how you feel about it. Are you using it? Do you have any questions about it? Was any of this helpful? I'd love to hear from you. If this is even a topic you want more on, or if it's just more of the same and you appreciate the fact that I don't get into it very often. I do put videos out every week to help creative entrepreneurs work smarter in their business instead of harder. I'm Lauren with The Smarter Creative. I am so glad that you are here with me. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please do. I'd love to have you stay. And I will see you in the next video.